Welcome back. The South Dakota men's basketball team is coming off just a one-game week in which they notched a tough road win at Fort Wayne. Head coach Craig Smith knows road victories are hard to come by in this league, but also knows how important it is to take care of business at home as well. For more on that and the Coyotes' two matchups this week, here's Jay Elsen with Coach Smith down in Vermilion.
All right, thank you, Kelly. Just one game on the schedule last week for the South Dakota men. It came at Fort Wayne on Thursday night, and the Coyotes come away with the win in that game. But, Craig, let's go back a little bit. Coming off the loss to North Dakota State, I know you guys were disappointed with the way that one played out. What was the biggest point of emphasis going into the game at Fort Wayne?
Well, before we get started, I just want to know where your purple tie's at. I mean, that was such an unbelievable comeback victory for the Minnesota Vikings. And I thought you would, 'tis the season. Let's go. Join the spirit.
No,
welcome to the good side.
This is the death color.
You know, it was a disappointing loss against North Dakota State at home. Just, I thought they played really, really well. And then I thought we had some moments where we just weren't very sharp with some things. And I think there was, you know, we had to really look in the mirror in those three practices, and we're so fortunate to be able to have those three practices going into the Fort Wayne, and we were able to tweak some things offensively. We really had to look deep into our depth chart and who's going to bring what to the table, and we played some different guys. And but more than anything, you know, prosperity is great, adversity is better. And certainly we had some adversity that week, and I thought we had some great practices. We really went back to the basics with a lot of things, and I think it showed on the floor on Thursday night.
Well, one thing you said last week when we talked was that in the absence of Carlton Hurst, you were absolutely going to have some guys step up and take advantage of the larger roles. Who specifically do you feel like did that for you in this game?
Well, when you lose a guy like Hurst, who's just the ultimate warrior, the ultimate competitor, and the guy's made out of titanium, and he just does so many tough guy things for us, and we challenge the guys. Everybody's got to do better, right? We each got to pick up our game. And then within that, I thought so many guys, I mean, Trey Birch-Manning, I thought played really, really well on both sides of the ball. When you're looking at guys that Tyler Peterson, I thought was really good. Brandon Armstrong, I thought had an impact on the game, whereas the North Dakota State game, he really had no impact on the game in 17 or 19 minutes of play. I thought Joshua Doss was really good. Joshua hasn't played for quite some time, and he comes into the game and gets 2 offensive rebounds in the first 5 possessions that he's in there, and we score off of both of those. So, and then he did a great job guarding one of their 2 best players, and so he had a very positive impact on the game. I thought Logan Power gave us good minutes, even though he didn't play a lot of minutes, gave us some positive time in there. Nick Fuller was really good, and so we played 10 guys. But more than just the depth that we played, I thought everybody played better. I thought Matt Mooney, even though he was 3 for 15 from the field, did a lot of things to help our team win that he hasn't been doing on a consistent basis. So you can go right down the line of guys. I truly thought, I know it's a cliche-ish thing, you know, we went 68-58, but to hold a team like them, who was top 25 in the country in three-pointers made in a game. They shoot 30 a game, making, you know, over 10 a game. To hold those guys to 3 for 20 at 15% was remarkable. And then we did a great job keeping them out of transition. And so I thought it was really a team effort. I thought we played really, really connected on both sides of the ball.
One other individual you didn't mention, Tyler Hagedorn struggled a bit since the start of conference play, offensively anyway. And he didn't shoot it particularly well. I think it was 3 for 10 in this game, but he still ends up with a double-double, 12 points, 11 rebounds. Do you think that was at least a step in the right direction toward getting back to where he was earlier in the year?
Yeah, I sure hope so. He has been in a little bit of funk on the offensive end. He has played well defensively, and so, you know, that's the one thing. He hasn't let his offense detract what he's been doing defensively as a rim protector, a great screen and roll defender, and continually getting better in the post. But hopefully, yeah, you're right. I thought he in the second half in particular, I thought he played really, really well. You know, he had a few open looks that maybe would have been quick looks that he actually passed up to get better shots. And I remember distinctly on the left wing, there was a couple of them that he was open, but he just wasn't feeling it. And he chose, you know what, let's keep the offense going. And we scored both those times, and we'll show that in film. So, you know, Tyler's a smart player. He's very, very talented. Obviously, you know, since he's broke his nose, he hasn't been maybe as efficient on the offensive end, but he's just too talented for that not to come back around.
Like definite progress between NDSU and Fort Wayne. I don't think anybody would dispute that, but obviously it's something you want to continue as you move forward now into what's going to be another big week for you, starting Wednesday against ORU. This is a team coming off back-to-back losses in Brookings and Fargo over the weekend, but certainly as they showed with 3 straight wins to start the conference, they can be pretty dangerous.
Yeah, 3 straight wins, and then played at Frost Arena, you know, to the wire, and had a last-second, well, had an opportunity for a last-second shot, and that's hard to do going into Frost. And so they have a Big Ten front line. I mean, they're humongous at the 3, the 4, the 5, and then they have some guards that can really get it going. So they're just massive. They're so different than everybody in the conference, not only with their front line size. They're top, I believe, 25 in the country in offensive rebounding, and then they play zone the entire game. So that's a different look in and of itself. So it's very difficult to replicate their size and their athleticism in practice, just because we don't really have that, you know. And so it'll be a very good test going up against a very good Oral Roberts team.
Then it's on to Omaha, and this is not a team, not like the team that we've gotten accustomed to seeing with the Mavericks. You know, lost a lot of their big guns from a year ago, but you know, when you play them down there and with their style of play, always certainly one that's capable of knocking anybody off on a given night.
Well, both those teams, Oral Roberts and Omaha, had very, very difficult non-conference schedules, so their records are not indicative of how good they are. And both teams are playing well right now. Omaha goes on the road last week and just takes it to Western, and then loses at Fort Wayne by only 4. And so we're seeing 2 polar opposite teams this week. We just talked about Oral Roberts, and then you got UNO, Omaha, who's probably the shortest team in the league. And they really spread you out on offense and just crank up threes like crazy, whereas Oral Roberts only makes 6 threes a game. They just, you know, Omaha's going to pressure and deny and get after you that way, and Oral Roberts is in zone. So it's going to be a unique challenge with these 2 teams back to back. And then, of course, going back on the road at Omaha, where we've struggled the last 2 years winning basketball games.
All right, well, good luck to you. Safe travels on the weekend, and we'll catch up again next week.
Sounds great, Blake. I mean, Jay.
Okay, thanks, Craig. And Kelly, back to you.
Oh my goodness, the resemblance is uncanny. But anyways, thanks so much, Jay/Blake. But remember, we will have South Dakota's game against Oral Roberts live right here on Midco SN tomorrow. Tip-off is set for 7 p.m. from Vermilion with Jay Elsen, Brad Newitt, and I on the call. Coming up next, we'll keep it in Vermilion, but switch gears to women's hoops and the high-scoring Coyotes. Jay catches up with Don Plitzowite when we come back.